Good evening, this is Nice Guy Eddie, host of In My Humble Opinion, which airs 9 p.m. Saturdays on rainbowradio.fm. Earlier this week, actually on the 13th of June 2021, on my show we had a special guest, Dr. Robin Schoenthaller. She is the Boston cancer doc who writes about, I'm not going to use the C word, I'm going to call it divoC. And I'm not going to use the P word, I'm going to call it an outbreak. The reason I'm going to do that is because when I posted my interview with Dr. Schoenthaller on YouTube, YouTube saw fit to block it on the basis of medical misinformation. Now, given the title of the video and that intro just there, I want to be very clear. This is not just another YouTube creator bitching about cancel culture or censorship even, First Amendment rights, any of that nonsense. By the way, if you think that getting blocked on YouTube is a violation of your First Amendment rights, you're wrong. That's nonsense. First Amendment, of course, only covers the government. If you are not in jail because of something you said, it is not a First Amendment issue. It is not a free speech issue. YouTube does not owe you, me, or anybody else a platform in order to guarantee your free speech. That is not what they do. Okay? Furthermore, I want to be very clear that I applaud YouTube for having community standards, for saying that there are things that they don't want said on their platform, that there are messages, and that there are conspiracy theories, there's misinformation that they will not be responsible for sending out into the interwebs. Okay, that they are not going to help broadcast, that they don't want on their platform. What's more, when it comes to what those community standards are, as far as I have read them and as far as I understand them and everything that I have seen so far, and I'll put them down in the comments below so everyone knows what I'm talking about, I don't disagree with any of them. Those of you who want to spew hate speech and do your anti-vax stuff and talk about your crazy conspiracy theory rabbit holes and all that, honestly, I have no problem with YouTubing. I have no problem with YouTube shutting that right down. I really don't. I don't think that every opinion needs to be shared. I don't think that misinformation and libelous conspiracy theories and basically bullshit. I don't think that medical misinformation and misinformation in general and conspiracy theories and other things like that deserve a platform. I do believe in honest debate and open debate, but I think I've seen the death of this in the last 4 to 20 years. I'm not sure. It's taken a while. I can't necessarily put my finger on the exact moment it happened. But again, if you're out there, being transphobic, homophobic, sexist, racist, and YouTube decides to silence you, I don't have a problem with that. I don't think you should be allowed to have oxygen, let alone a stage from which to exhale carbon dibullshit. Okay? No problem with that. I don't disagree with any of it, and particularly when it comes to medical misinformation during a outbreak. I'm not saying the word because as far as I can tell, if you say the C word and the P word, they're going to block your video. Don't believe me? Well, you have to listen to my interview with Robin Schoenthaller. This was taken down by YouTube for reasons of medical misinformation. Now, I've read their standards regarding medical misinformation and the divoC outbreak, and I gotta say, I agree with everything in them. The problem is that my video and my interview with Dr. Schoenthaller doesn't in fact violate any of those standards. All of the information presented comes from the CDC, the WHO, Dr. Fauci, the government, credible experts, the medical researchers, etc. Dr. Schoenthaller's work is specifically geared towards getting good information to the public, as is mine. I am not an anti-Fauci conspiracy theorist. I despise what the right has done during this outbreak. And honestly, I do believe that I'm going to go back to my old standard of half of the deaths that happened in 2020 could have been avoided if Trump wasn't an incompetent buffoon. So I'm not saying anything in terms of medical misinformation according to YouTube's own standards. Now, I appealed this, of course, and I lost my appeal, and the video has been taken down, and I've been given a warning, and if I do it again, I'm going to get a strike. Well, I've put a lot of work into this channel, and I have a lot of work left to put into this channel, and I don't want it taken down. So I've been trying to keep it free of strikes. I'm just, you know, if the copyright stuff gets tripped up and it's from a few years ago and I can't really easily contact the artist, I just pull the song. No complaints. I understand they don't want to get sued by artists. They're just going to have a policy of, basically, if you have music in your video, it's going to get flagged. And okay, I don't like it. Especially when I'm in the video literally talking to the artist and I say, hey, Amric Shanna, or whoever it is. That was the first one I got tagged on, so I remember Amric. You know, what track should we play next? And he tells me what track to play, and I play it. And it's like, oh, copyright violation. The man himself just told me to play the track. But I can't get a hold of Amric or Aaron Paul or Jesus. I think Doctor and the Medics would probably just refuse me out of spite at this point. I can't say I blame them. So if I can't get a hold of the artist easily, I'm just going to pull the song. No problem. I want to keep my station free of strikes. Now, they did flag the Katie Benoit interview from a couple weeks ago, but Katie's a friend of mine. I'm still in touch with her almost daily on Facebook and social media, so it's very easy for me to reach out and say, hey, can you quickly just write down something that says I have permission to use that, and if YouTube comes after me, I've got her written statement. She wrote the songs. She owns the copyright. So not so concerned about that. But when it came to the medical misinformation stuff, I'm not going to repost the video as in a form of petty protest or whatever, but I did appeal the decision, and I lost the appeal, and they've blocked the video. Now, that is their right, and I'm not all woe is me, but I do have one complaint, and that is that I would like to know which of the community standards I violated at what point in the video. In other words, I think it's a fair question to say, what exactly did I say that violated community standards? Now, I know a lot of people will be saying that basically to be pedantic little pricks and argue until everybody's blue in the face, and YouTube doesn't want to deal with that. It's like, look, we have our standards, don't argue with us. If you call someone a this or that, you're going to get blocked. If you start disparaging these people or any people, you're going to get blocked. Like, that's okay. I don't have a problem with any of that. My only problem is I didn't do anything that actually violated their standards. So anyway, you know, it's my mission to not have misinformation about the divoC outbreak being disseminated to the public. In fact, the whole point of the interview was to get people to credible sources. Credible sources, not according to my opinion, but according to the very standards spelled out in YouTube's community standards, according to their own sources. These were the same people that Dr. Schoenthaller and I were trying to get people to go and research and get their information from. So my problem is not that they have standards or even that they quote-unquote censor. During an outbreak, medical misinformation is not free speech. That's dangerous. That can get people killed. And no, you don't have the right to talk over doctors, nor do you have the right to cite the one doctor who disagrees with literally every other doctor in the country. Okay, folks, this isn't Hollywood. There is no maverick guy who's going to disprove the medical consensus wrong. Only science, only better science will ever disprove science. That has been true throughout human history. Okay? So anyway, what is the point of my video? Well, I do want to say YouTube's not going to tell me what I did wrong. I wish they would, and I wish they would, again, not so I can argue with it, but so I can go and fix it. That's what I want to do. I want to fix it. I want them to say, at 15 minutes and 37 seconds, you said that you violated this statement, and I can go listen to it, and I can make a decision. I can pull it out of the interview, the question, the answer, just pull it right out, or I can insert my own voice saying, hey guys, nice guy Eddie here. That bit you just heard was actually totally wrong. Here is the accurate information, and for more information, go to cdc.gov or whatever. Back to the show. I could do something like that. I might only be a pretend journalist, but I'd like to be a good pretend journalist. So that's my problem. So here's my challenge. If anybody is interested, or if anybody thinks I'm full of shit, or if anybody just wants to hear the video, because here's the thing, YouTube cannot silence me. They can take my videos off their platform, and that's their rights. And I'm actually, again, I applaud that they have community standards. I applaud that they, in theory, enforce them. I kind of am a little bit disappointed with the arbitrary and capricious nature of their enforcement. It sort of takes the worst of both worlds. You have sort of a zero tolerance policy combined with an arbitrary and capricious enforcement of it. Because honestly, I think if you say C word, P word, your video is going to get blocked because there was nothing in my video that was false, period. But that's my challenge. If you're interested, and if you want to hear the interview, you can hear it. It is on my blog at eddiecabot.blogspot.com. If you're watching this from my blog, it's in the post right below. So if you go to eddiecabot.blogspot.com, look for the last post on the 17th of June 2021. It'll be right down there. The other place that you can find it, if you go there and you don't feel like scrolling through, and this is later on, is go up to the top. There's a series of tabs that'll say like IMHO 2017, IMHO 2018. These are tabs to lists of my shows that aired on rainbowradio.fm. And if you go to the IMHO 2021 tab and click on it, it's the 12th show down. Dr. Robin Schoenthaller, the Boston cancer doc, who writes about divoC. I would like you to go there. I'd like everybody to listen to the interview, of course. I think it's good information. But I mean, it's not going to be that relevant a few years from now, I hope. I hope that does just sort of fade with time. That's my honest hope about this. But if you do listen to it, and if you happen to hear something that you think does violate YouTube's standards, not your opinion of how things should be, or whatever crazy conspiracy Fox News theory you're listening to about Fauci or whatever else. No, I'm not interested in debating the accuracy with wackos. I want to know what violated YouTube standards. So if you're going to tell me something, think about it from YouTube's perspective, not from your own, and not from mine. Okay? Because that's what I want to know. And I want to know it so I can fix it. Okay, now if I had to put money on it, I'm going to bet first prize, I get no response whatsoever. That's always going to bet on that one. Second prize, I'm probably going to get a bunch of right-wing whack jobs ignoring everything I just said and telling me about how this doesn't work and that doesn't work and this is fake news and this guy's evil and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not even going to say names. I'm not going to say what it is that doesn't work because I don't want the YouTube censors to say, oh, he said this. Because that's the problem, a lot of these things. I truly believe they're enforced by bots, not human beings. And they ignore things like context a lot of times. They also, of course, I realize I'm a small creator. I'm not PewDiePie. So I'm not gonna get away with things that larger creators do get away with pretty blatantly and pretty often. Because I could find hundreds, maybe thousands of videos that flagrantly violate many of YouTube's community standards. And I think we all know that. But this isn't about me disagreeing with it or me being butthurt because I got banned. I just want to know why. Okay? So if you want to see it, again, eddiecabot.blogspot.com, either directly below basically the post below this one, if that's where you're watching this, or go to the top, IMHO 2021. It's the 12th show, Dr. Robin Schoenthaller. Check it out. And tell me if you can see what I got wrong, and I will thank you personally, and I will get that fixed and hopefully reposted to YouTube because I think it's good information, and I appreciate that Dr. Schoenthaller spent some time with me, and I think it's a shame that I can't share the video here. Thank you.